Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Bitcoin report for Thursday, April 14. And we're looking at Bitcoin on the monthly chart here. And just what I wanted to point out here is that in this consolidation here, that the volume is really low here. I mean, for a trend to be a trend, we need increasing volume. So we're not seeing, all corrections are on lower volume, and we're seeing lower volume here. Also in the perpetual futures market, which trades a lot more money than the spot market does, we're seeing a lot of volume here because I got it pumped up. But basically, in this move up here, we're not seeing increased volume; we're seeing decreased volume. This bar here is obviously the beginning of this month here. We're on the 14th, but we're not seeing increased volume to push this up. In fact, the patterns in here, we can look at it, the last saving grace is a move to the upside. We can look at it as a triangle pattern, and we'll do that, of course, because that's still a bullish pattern. And it's possible to label this 1 and 2 and bullish to the upside. But my point being is that we're not seeing increased volume in the market at this point. So, it does put a lot of weight on the downside, but let's just go in and have a look. So yeah, this is the monthly chart here. So let's just start with the triangle pattern, shall we? It's on the 2-day. I won't look at the bullish pattern just yet. Where are we? I get the brain working. So let me just squash a few of these things up. So Bitcoin's triangle pattern. So an A wave, a B wave, a C wave, a D wave, and an E wave over here. So this move here, as I mentioned, it looks like a corrective rally, but still we can look at it as a triangle in here for the X here, and then an A wave here, and then a B wave here. In fact, this triangle pattern, the A wave needs to go over to this side over here. Oh no, that's Ethereum. Sorry, I've got it mixed up. Anyway, an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave. So this is at the 40,000 here, and it's just natural to have a bounce off big numbers, and we expected that yesterday, and that's what we're getting, and we can go in and have a look at that in a moment. I'll just put this in here. It's 40,000. I just call it a medium level in this instance, but we'll see a bounce off that. But I do believe that in this bounce here will come all the answers that we need to figure out what this pattern is, because if it's a bearish pattern, it's just going to go up, 50-60%, and then it's going to drop through here. If it does push up to here, well, then we can look at the triangle pattern. We can also look at the bullish pattern. So that 50-60% range in here is going to be critical. So very shortly, as with all patterns, when patterns start, sometimes it's a bit of a guessing game of what they can be, especially in corrections like this, wave 4s. I mean, they get like really complicated, and the trick is really just to let them mature to a point where you can actually yourself recognize what's going on with them, That's the only way I know out of them. So patience is required in that instance. But yeah, if this only rallies, because we could look at this as an impulse wave, as we have been doing, not only with Bitcoin and Ethereum, but also with US equities and US indices as well. So this market has been, on point with US assets. So we've got a bearish pattern for them as well, looking at Microsoft and Apple and so on as an impulse wave to the downside. We're just waiting for their rallies too to look for short trade setups on those markets. So this Bitcoin market will follow the equities, and I don't see a triangle pattern in the equities, But there we go. So we can go in a little bit further and have a look at this one here. I think that's it's on 2-day 2K. Pull this apart a little bit. So the B wave would count like this here. So from the top up here, we'd look down as the A wave, the B wave, and 1 and 2 here and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for the third wave, fourth wave, and down for the fifth wave here, and that low's in place. So if this was going to be the triangle pattern or a bullish pattern, we would need to see 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 normally come around the top of the trend, so to speak, and then wave 5 to the upside. That would be our 5C of Y of D. Or I could look at this as a more bullish pattern, but I'm not going to do that today. I mean, if we get above here, well, then I will, but I don't need to do that at the moment. Our main course of action really is just to see if the market gets to here and fails at that point. You know, that's so we're very close to knowing what's going to occur within all of this. So that's that. I don't need to go into the 100 tick and pull this apart further. We can have a look at this on the bullish pattern. So the bearish pattern. So the bearish pattern, let me just bring this in on the weekly chart first. So the bearish pattern is like this. So we could look at this here as a corrective pattern. I was expecting it to go a little bit higher, but it's not the case. And like I mentioned, it does appear that we've got an impulse wave coming down here for this. So if that's correct, we'll just see this move down. And so we'll be looking for 5 waves down here. There'll be some sort of equality between this leg and this leg. Okay, so is this going to happen? I don't know. But what we will know very soon. Probably over Easter. It could be your Easter egg. So from here we need to go to the 1-day chart and just break that down a little bit. So an A and a B and a C wave up here for the B wave, and then looking down here as wave 1 here and back for wave 2. I do need to lift this up a degree of structure, but that's okay for the time being. So if this is 5 waves down here, then we're looking for an ABC back into this box. So that's around the 44,000 thereabouts. So yeah, that's what we're sort of looking for. So if this collapses once it, once it gets to here, there will be resistance there anyway, right? So you don't have to make decisions too early. As I say, if you're unsure, let it mature and then make a decision. So you really need to know before you put money in the system, because once you put it in, you might not get it back. Rightio, so from here we can just go into the intraday. So we'll just go into the 4-hour chart. That's 4 days, so that's something else. Don't have to worry about that. I'm always looking at different counts. I just always trying to think outside the box and all that sort of stuff. But anyway, start from my problems. 1 and 2 here. And it doesn't look like a good wave 1 down here, but if you pull it apart on a 5 or 10 tick chart, you'll see it. So 1 and 2 here, and 1 and 2 here, and 3 and 4 and 5 here, and 4 here and 5 here. This wave 4 here is a little bit small, but when you look on Ethereum, you'll see that it's much bigger. And then down for wave 5 here for this. So like I said, you always get a bounce off the off a big number, with zeros on the end of it. How far that bounce goes is what we need to look at. Now we may not, as this wave 2 here, it may not even go that high, And if I've counted this wrong here, then what will happen is that we'll see another move down here, and then we'll see the ABC pattern here. Sometimes things just take a little bit longer, but I've gone over this. I'm okay with it. It seems to be okay, but just letting you know that I'm not perfect. So this little move here coming up into the box is what I'm trying to do here really with this is to line this ABC pattern up here with the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ and the Russell and Microsoft and Apple and all of those sorts of things, So it might be good to watch those videos, because we're trying to get the sort of timing on all, because they'll all move together, they'll all go together. Like I say, there's nothing to trade, and then there's everything to trade. So it could be a bit sort of daunting at that point. So on this one here, 4 hours. So I've just drilled right in here, and I think I'll just go to the 20 tick chart. I think that's what I've got here. We'll just need to bring in some more data. So we can have a little bit of a look at this at the moment. So So from this low here, if I plonk that there and that there, we'll see this is wave 1 here and 2 here, and this is a strong move here, isn't it? So this has got to be the third wave in here, and then there'll be the fourth in here, and then there'll be the fifth wave. So we can look at that as a 5-wave structure, and we can look at that as a 3-wave structure, right? So it does start from that point, even though it's come quite low here for this. So and then we can look at this here as a 5-wave structure as well. Let's have a pull that apart. Do we need to go, that's 5 waves at that point, do we need to go there? I mean, do we have 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here? That's the question. I'm just shooting the breeze here, really, you know, just to get you started on this a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so we need to look at that like that. So we could look at this as just nut it out here a little bit as 1 and 2 here, and we'll just put 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 there, and then we can look at this as 1 and 2 in here for this, and then we can put over here, we can put this as 3. We're just building a case, really, just, you know, just it'll just help you sort of understand what's going up here further. And then we can go here with 1 and 2 at this point. Do you think that looks like a 4, 3, 4, 5? So I think we need to plug that in there at 3 and 4. We know when I do this, I've got to go back and check it as well, you know. I mean, I'm just known for mistakes. So that would make the top of the 3rd wave there at least. And that could be the 4th and the 5th here. That's a bit short for that. But that could be, this is where you can make mistakes, because that 5th wave there, that could just be wave 1 here and then 2 here and then 3, 4, 5, you know. But otherwise we'll put that in over here as 3 and 4 coming into play. We have a 5, yeah, so that would make like the A wave at that point. That's kind of, I can just say to you now that this is about in tune with the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ and so on, right? So we still need this B wave will pull back a little bit. We can put the trading levels in here. That will be sort of helpful. 41, 42, 43 and 45, that's all there. And obviously between 1 and 2 here, you still got your Fibonacci numbers 1, 2, 3, 5 here, and then 8. And when you talk about 8, you talk about group 2. So you can just keep fractioning in such. But yeah, so we're looking for something like this, and then this wave up here will be kind of helpful, because what will happen if this is once we got the B wave, this C wave here, if we look at this, the A waves are normally quite sharp. So if we take what I mean by that, the speed of which they go, so if I put that there, probably won't be right, it'll probably be over there looking at all of this, but anyway, that will be the speed of that. If this wave C up here, if it's like that, like stronger than the A wave, then you know it's a wave 3 and it'll be more bullish at that point. But if it's lazier than wave A, then you know it's a wave C, okay, because it's a lazy bugger like myself. So yeah, anyway, that's the sort of pattern that we're building with off the low here, you know. So all we have to do really is just give it time. Now that it's built off here, you know, if it comes up near the box here, then you'll know the low's in place, you know, because as I just mentioned, it might be possible that I've missed something. We have one more low to come in, and then we build to the upside, you know. But if this moves up into this box here and then finds that 40 as a low again, then you'll know that we're in the bearish market at that point. But otherwise we could be in a bullish market, you know. But if this here gets up into the box, then you can draw a line in under here and say that's the low, okay, that's the low, and if that's breached, we're in a bear market. Simple as that. So if this goes up close, if this goes to 43,000, right, then you can put that green line in. And if that green line is breached, then you know you got a bear market at that point. Otherwise, the triangle pattern to the upside and a bigger bullish pattern to the upside exists. So we're kind of breaking it down. We're getting there. We're getting there. It's you know, it's a bit of a tricky it's a bit of a tricky pattern. This this whole structure here. You know, it's not the easiest thing to sort of get through. I mean, it fits the triangle pattern. You can get a you can kind of force a bullish pattern out of it, but you're kind of pushing it a little bit. You could push it because when you look at Solana and a few of those that are a bit more sort of chirpy to the upside, you can see things like, well, this move here in Solana is a nice clear 5 wave. So we could label that, you know, we could label that 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, you know. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't sort of label it like that myself. But we'll look at the bullish count on this if we move above that box. Okay. Otherwise, I don't want to give too many counts. We just want to start narrowing it down as much as possible. Alrighty, I'll leave it at that. Enjoy Easter, and I'll check you later. Cheers.